An update on the deadly collision at the Dallas Air Show gives insight into what may have happened.
The third time may be the charm for the Artemis 1 moon launch.
And we are here to tell you how to celebrate Native American Heritage Month.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm April Pierdon.
And I'm Mauricio Ortiz-Segura. Russian missiles struck NATO member Poland today, hitting a grain silo and killing 2 people. This comes after Ukraine has seen an increased frequency of missile strikes on their cities, including Lviv in western Ukraine, less than 100 kilometers from the site hit in Poland. The Russian Defense Ministry made a statement denying any involvement in any strikes on targets near the Ukrainian-Polish border. Polish leaders have called an emergency security and defense meeting and have decided to increase the readiness of some of its military units in the area. Poland has not come out with an official response to the incident as of yet, but is expected to very soon. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed the reports through his office in a statement he put out earlier today.
Today happened what we warned about a long time ago. This terror is not limited to our national borders. It has spread to the territory of Moldova, and today, Russian missiles hit Poland.
Tonight, a key question is whether Poland will ask NATO to invoke Article 5, which states that any attack on a NATO member shall be considered an attack against them all. The devastating incident in Poland comes as a result of an increased series of Russian strikes targeting Ukrainian energy and civilian sites just days after Ukraine submitted a peace proposal during the current G20 summit. CNN's Chris Nguyen has more.
As air raid sirens ring across Ukraine, there are reports that 2 missiles or rockets struck Poland near the Ukrainian border, killing at least 2 people. It's unclear from where the projectiles originated, but they landed at roughly the same time as a Russian missile strike on western Ukraine. The incident occurring after Ukrainians were warned to expect more attacks from Russia.
Mostly on energy infrastructure. We can see what the enemy wants. They will not succeed.
Russian missiles struck about a dozen Ukrainian cities and districts on Tuesday, marking the largest wave of attacks on the country this month following several devastating rounds in October. Senior Ukrainian officials say at least half of the customers in Kyiv have no electricity after Russian strikes forced emergency outages. The attacks come after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky presented a 10-point peace plan to end Russia's invasion in a video speech to G20 leaders.
We will not allow Russia to wait it out, build up its forces, and then start a new series of terror and global destabilization.
The steps include a path to nuclear safety, food security, and a special tribunal for alleged Russian war crimes.
I am convinced now is the time when the Russian destructive war must and can be stopped.
A Kremlin spokesperson says Russia has seen Zelensky's proposal, but doesn't believe the Ukrainian government wants to negotiate in good faith. In Washington, I'm Chris Nguyen reporting.
Fresh from his re-election as governor, Greg Abbott has declared migrants entering Texas from Mexico an invasion. Abbott announced today he is invoking the invasion clauses in both the U.S. and Texas constitutions. Article 4 of the Texas Constitution states the governor is commander-in-chief of state military forces and shall have power to call forth the militia to execute the laws of the state, to suppress insurrections, and to repel invasions. Abbott is calling for the National Guard to be deployed to Texas-Mexico border, along with state troopers to arrest migrants. He also wants gunboats at the border and a wall in multiple counties.
There are still many unanswered questions about what caused the deadly collision at the Dallas Air Show this weekend. Since the incident, investigations have been launched to determine what caused the mid-air crash. Experts speculate several possible reasons, including a possible blind spot, mechanical issues, communication issues, or human error. Both planes are older World War II models, so they lack some of the technology today's planes have. However, the victims of the incident were experienced airmen, so investigators strongly believe that outside factors may have contributed to the crash. Investigations about the incident will be extensive, and it may take as long as 18 months before these questions are answered.
Well, Mauricio, wouldn't you say that today was such a very gloomy and cold day?
Yeah, my fingers were practically freezing off on my walk over here.
Yeah.
And I really hope it doesn't stay like that for the rest of the week. So
Yes.
let's go with our weather anchor, Courtney Hill, for our first look at the weather this week. Courtney?
Thanks, you guys. I'm sorry to say we are going to have a cool week. We are actually sitting 20 to 30 degrees below average. Right now in Denton, Texas, we are sitting at 46 degrees. It feels like 44. The wind speeds have slowed down to 8 miles per hour. Tonight will drop down to 39 degrees. It will feel like 36, so even cooler than it actually is. Tomorrow will rise up to 55 degrees, so it'll be a little bit warmer than we actually have. So if you stay tuned with me until after the break, I will have your full 7-day forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Courtney. The student loan forgiveness plan is undergoing a setback. Earlier this week, a judge from Texas ruled the program as unconstitutional. Our reporter Leslie Mata has more to this story. Leslie?
That is right, April. The Biden administration stopped receiving applications for the student loan forgiveness plan last Friday. This came after a federal district judge in Texas struck it down. This plan was set to forgive up to $20,000 for millions of Americans. Just yesterday, a federal appeals court issued a nationwide injunction putting the relief plans on hold. This pause may cause the Biden administration to extend the payment pause on federal student loans once again. You can check the website federalstudentaid.gov for payment information. Let's go back to the studio.
Coming up next, if you're planning your next trip to Disney World, you might want to reevaluate your budget.
And NASA is sending another rocket to the moon after much delay. More on this after the break.
Has the weight of stress and anxiety ever felt too heavy to overcome? Wish there was a safe place to confide in? Wish granted. At UNT, we offer counseling and testing services to students located on the 3rd floor of Chestnut Hall. UNT, we're here for you.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
The results are in, and Florida beats Texas for most dangerous highway. Florida's I-95 is claimed to be the most dangerous highway in America, with 284 fatalities in 2019. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration released fatality numbers for the year 2019, and Texas landed in second and third place with the I-20 and the I-35. The notorious I-35 stretches from Laredo and up into Oklahoma, running through Dallas, Fort Worth, and Denton. And in 2019, it recorded 197 fatalities. The NHTSA, has some tips for safer driving. First, avoid aggressive drivers. Second, don't inconvenience passing drivers. Third, avoid staying in the fast lane. Fourth, avoid distractions such as using your phone. And 5, try to prepare for your exit early.
Inflation has been affecting more than just gas prices. Ticket prices have been rising everywhere, and the happiest place on earth is no exception. Florida's Disney World announced ticket prices will increase starting December 8th. Magic Kingdom, the most popular of the 4 theme parks, will be the most expensive on its busiest days. Disney claims this is because Magic Kingdom is the most visited theme park in the world. Epcot and Hollywood Studios will increase their prices depending on demand, but Animal Kingdom will keep its current prices. Disney is increasing prices of annual passes as well. If you're planning on visiting during the holidays, buy your tickets now before they get more expensive.
NASA begins yet again to put a man on the moon with the Artemis program. The test will include the Artemis 1 rocket, the Orion spacecraft, and NASA's new space launch system.
Delayed by 2 hurricanes, launch crews in Florida are finally set for takeoff less than 7 hours away at 1:04 a.m. tonight. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez has more from Cape Canaveral.
To this attempt.
After several delays and setbacks, the Artemis 1 team is hopeful Wednesday will be the day they finally get the Mega Moon rocket off the ground. The mission aims to eventually take humans to the moon for the first time in more than 50 years.
Artemis is our new set of missions within NASA, where we will land the first woman and the first person of color on the moon in just a few years.
Issues with a faulty temperature sensor and a liquid hydrogen leak scrubbed the first 2 launch attempts, forcing crews to stow away the rocket and capsule for several weeks. And then weather also played a major role. If Wednesday's launch attempt is a success, it will be a major milestone for NASA, as astronauts hope to collect lunar samples and map the mysterious southern region of the moon when the crewed spacecraft launches expected in 2024.
So it's going to be a much different terrain for them to have to navigate, for them to have to keep the rover safe, keep themselves safe.
It's been a long road for the Artemis 1 launch. First, Hurricane Ian in September, then Hurricane Nicole hit last week, causing several issues. Caulking came loose on the spacecraft, water leaked into the crew access arm, which astronauts would need to use to board the capsule. And there was a rip in the rain cover which protects one of the rocket's engines. But now, NASA seems to think their 3rd launch attempt may be the charm.
It takes a lot of technology and a lot of operations and a lot of people to make this possible.
In Florida, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
April, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'd be a pretty good candidate for a moon mission, you know. Maybe I can convince someone to let me on one this week.
Well, Mauricio, how would you know what the weather is like to be able to fly that spaceship?
Well, April, that's why we have our weather anchor, Courtney Hill, who's going to give us our full weather report. What's the weather looking for the rest of the week, Courtney?
Well, you guys, I don't know much about spaceships, but I do have a little bit of that weather coming up. So right now across North Texas, you see that we're in the mid to high 40s, except for Paris, Texas. They're at 39 degrees. They're experiencing some cooler weathers. If you take a look across the region, you see that we're sitting in the 40s and 50s everywhere, except for El Paso. They're at 59 degrees, so they're experiencing warmer temperatures. In Houston as well, sitting at 54. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. So if we look across this week, we are going to be experiencing a cool week. It's cool every day. The lows are in the 30s, even the 20s on Friday and Saturday at 28 degrees. On Monday, we have a 17% chance of rain, so make sure to have that umbrella for those chances of rain. And while we are shivering here in North Texas, it is even colder in other parts of the country. In fact, this little guy is part of the first big snowfall in Wisconsin. Building snowmen is all a part of winter in the north, along with bobsleds and snowshoes. Snow fell across parts of the Great Lakes states and even hit parts of Chicago. But despite the wintry look in Wisconsin, it is as cold as it is. It's not as cold as it is in Fairbanks, Alaska. The temperature an hour ago was 17 degrees below zero. Now that is cold. April and Mauricio, back to you.
Thanks, Courtney. Coming up, find out how UNT is taking part in the celebration of Native American Heritage Month.
And if you want to see how talented your peers are, we'll tell you where to go after the break.
Hey man, are you okay in there? You look terrible. Have you been up all night? Don't you know that according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, staying up all night can have a negative effect on your GPA? Sleep? Yeah, go to bed.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, sorry.
National parks are becoming more accessible to those with disabilities. Georgia is the latest state to add all-terrain power wheelchairs to their parks in order for disabled visitors to traverse rough paths. The state will be offering these chairs for use free of charge at nearly a dozen parks. Minnesota has seen positive reviews after a test run of adding chairs to 5 parks.
These chairs typically cost more than $12,000 a piece, but local foundations often pay for the vehicles. One of the great things about UNT is the number of different cultures we represent and celebrate. Tonight in our For the Culture segment, Vale Herrera tells us how UNT is celebrating Native American Heritage Month. Vale?
That's right, Mauricio. November is all about celebrating Native American Heritage Month, and UNT is doing its part by hosting a reception showcasing some special art. Our live shot reporter Meredith Pascal is at the event right now. Meredith?
November kicks off the start of Native American Heritage Month, and UNT's University Program Council is honoring the celebration by hosting a Native American art showcase. So go ahead and head down to the Union Art Gallery where you can come see this incredible art on display and learn more about Native Heritage Month. I know I will be sticking around to come look at some of these beautiful pieces. And right now I'm here with Dallas Wobbington to tell us just a little bit more about Native American Heritage Month. Dallas?
Hi everyone, yes, my name is Dallas Wobbington. I am one of the graduate assistants for the University Programming Council who is hosting this event, but I'm also one of the artists on display in the background. So with my piece in particular, it talks about the struggles of being a mixed indigenous person in America. So for this event, we wanted to highlight Native American artists ranging from sculptures, painting, and photography. And so this event was mostly just to highlight, just more than just the people who struggle, who are victims in American culture, but people who are striving to do better. So for Native American History Month, we wanted to highlight those achievements and basically be able to show off Native American History Month. And this event will be, the reception is going on for just today, but the artwork will be available for the rest of the month of November.
All right, thank you so much, Dallas. Back to you guys at the studio.
Thanks, Meredith. Do you have a talent and are ready to show it off? Our live reporter, Kelsey Clark, has more information on how you can do just that. Kelsey?
Thanks, Mauricio. Tomorrow is UNT's big talent show titled UNT's Got Talent. Everyone is invited to show off their special talent, and signups are located on UPC's social medias. The event is at the Lyceum at the Union and starts at 7 p.m. The show only happens once per year, and so you don't want to miss it. If you aren't looking to perform, the event is free to attend. I know I'll be there. That's all for me today. Back to you at the desk.
Mauricio, I heard you're a big fan of the Dallas Mavericks.
That's right, April, and I have to say, and there's no bias in this, by the way, I think Luka Doncic is having an MVP season right now, and I think our sports anchor, Lillian Kosh, might agree with me. Lillian, what do you think?
Oh, I definitely agree. And there's a lot going on in the DFW sports world this week, so stick with me after the break and I'll have it all.
Near Sanctus Spiritus.
I've got a good feeling about this one.
Hey, Maddie, miss me?
Wait, Bud?
What was that all about?
An old friend.
An old friend?
Good to see you, brother.
What the hell are you doing?
That's your lucky day.
Not too long ago, I got to speak with UNT volleyball player Shadiman Hawley when she won Defensive Player of the Week. She told me how exciting it would be to see her teammates earn the same honor as the season progresses. And well, I'm happy to report they have done just that. Sophomore Cece Harness was named Conference USA's Setter of the Week on Monday. The league announced this title after Harness achieved match-high marks for the assist of pair-conference sweeps. She is the first UNT player to win this award of the 2022 season, so congrats to you, Cece Harness. And as we all know, Luka Doncic is a star player, but this season is proving it just even more. Luka has been showing up and showing out, giving him MVP status for the Mavericks. He leads the Mavs in points per game and assists per game. And if you think his offensive skills are on point, Luka also leads in rebounds and steals per game. He is carrying the team on his back, and hopefully for Dallas, he will continue to bring the heat. I'm excited to watch him as the Mavs take on the Los Angeles Clippers tonight at 7:30. And speaking of tonight's game, I got the opportunity to talk with a few basketball fans here on campus to hear their predictions for the matchup.
Mavs winning, mostly because I think that we have like a strong bench. Now, Luka has been, obviously he carries the team. He gets an average of 30 points a game, but I do think that we have people who can come off the bench and get us points. Now, our strong suit isn't really defense, but I do think we can play well enough against the Clippers because they have problems with their bench and really scoring on their end. So I think if we play our game, give it to Luka more times than not, but also the bench players come off and give us solid points, I think we can win.
I definitely feel like the Mavs are going to win. Luka's been doing really good this season. So, yeah, the Clippers don't stand a chance. We got this.
I think it will be a good game, most definitely. But I feel like the Clippers will win. They're just more experienced. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, John Wall, all very good superstars, just compared to Luka and Christian Wood. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge for the Dallas Mavericks.
I do know about Luka, and I know that he's the MVP player and that he's been doing really well, so I think that they'll win.
That's all I have for this week. Don't forget to cheer on our Mavs after the show. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Lillian. Okay, we all know that baby animals are cute, but one little guy got his 15 minutes of fame trying to share the camera with a college intern. Take a look.
Who isn't tickled pink when they see baby elephants? But this aspiring reporter was actually tickled
and disrupting the circle of life.
as he tried to shoot a stand-up for Kenya Broadcasting Corporation.
Save our wild species and provide a home.
Posted one commenter, "That elephant has a nose for news." Intern reporter Alvin Kaunda told Ghetto Radio he had done 10 takes trying to nail his stand-up when the elephant's trunk nailed him. I just felt the ticklish trunk, but tried to keep my cool. The elephant is an orphan named Kindani, living at the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust in Kenya. A keeper described her as one of the cleverest elephants he's ever met. Alvin learned a lesson I learned early on at my first job in TV. Like my friend here. Animals steal the show, be it pig or hippo.
She seems to like to be mocked. Okay, just kidding.
Instead of almost getting chomped, Alvin got trunked, and the pachyderm seemed to have an eye for the camera. All that exploring must have left the elephant wondering, what a tiny trunk you have, human. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Mauricio, that elephant was so adorable.
Man, what I would give to be pet by a baby elephant.
Well, thanks so much for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.